Welcome again to Let's Talk Science with Pastor Dan. We're getting down there. It's Christmas week. We'll be celebrating it this week. So I wanted to get into the family that God chose to put his one and only son. And so for the next 2 days, I'm going to mention the two people that made up the first family that Jesus was a part of. And so I'm going to talk about the head of the house. I'm going to talk about Joseph. Now, Joseph is often referred to as the silent character of the Christmas story. He doesn't have any words. He never literally speaks. Scripture doesn't tell us anything that he said. Unlike Zechariah, and unlike Simeon, he doesn't get words, but he has a very important role. Now, I grew up Catholic. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just, I chose, God brought me a different direction. My Catholic friends out there, God bless you. I understand. I do understand all the things of the faith. There is one thing that I disagree with Catholic Church teaching. There's some Catholic Church teaching that says that Joseph actually was an old man, that they found this old guy who was a widower, and they put him with Mary because she was pregnant, that literally all of Joseph's brothers were, not Joseph, Jesus' brothers were from Joseph's first marriage, and so they were not really related to Jesus at all. I'm sorry, that doesn't bear out in Scripture. An old man's not going to be able to make a quick trip to Egypt. An old man's not going to be able to provide for his family in Egypt. So I believe, and I believe Scripture bears it out, that Joseph was probably in his 20s, in there someplace. I mean, usually a man in that time would need to have some kind of ability to earn, so he wouldn't have been like 15, 16, 18. Mary probably was. Mary probably was about 14 years old, 14, 15. Once they were able to start being able to have children, they did. I remember my sister one time, she met an old Italian nun who had come over from Italy. She was 16, and the nun was, I'll pray for you. I pray for you, because she's afraid at 16 that she was an old maid because she hadn't gotten married yet. So Mary at probably about 14, 15 was the age. And Joseph, I'm actually thinking about 25, 28 in there in some place. But you think about the story of Joseph. And again, God will take us in ways and places that we can't imagine. He had to change his entire expectation. Joseph had a mindset about what his life would be like. And God, he had to allow God to change everything. He would take a woman into his house who would bear him a son that wasn't his. But I believe that Joseph was an awesome father. I'm getting emotional here. That he loved him and that he cared for him, because God wouldn't have put just anybody as head of that household. As a father, if I couldn't be there directly, I would want to make sure that the man that took care of my son would be awesome. So I can't imagine waiting to meet Joseph. He had to have been such a caring guy, so passionate, so faithful, so encouraging. He had to hear the word of the Lord, hear it to receive Mary, hear it to go to Egypt to protect the child. So, Joseph, while a quiet character, has a major role in the Christmas story. All right, that's our story. Take care. God bless.